We share our lives with the world more than ever before. We post information, pictures, even our innermost thoughts on the internet for friends, family, and the rest of the known universe to see.
Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Google+. To some, strange words in a modern world, but to others, these social networks are a way of life.
But I've been discovering this willingness to share our lives with the rest of the world can impact our job prospects.
If you are looking for a job or using social media as a business, you obviously need to think, how is that going to look? I would just think, if I'm not going to say it to people's faces, then I'm not going to put it on Facebook.
First impression used to be when you walk in the door and meet somebody. I think everybody has a preconception now before you even walk in the door, and that preconception you can forfeit your opportunity to get in the door and get an interview.
Chances are you're being judged by who you are and what you do online. This is Laura. By day she works in broker support at Aviva and is very keen to break into the world of marketing and design. By night she's very active on the internet, on plenty of social networks. Oh, and she's also taking part in the regional heats of Miss Universe.
And if you Google Laura, you'll find she talks about this and plenty of other things on various social network sites.
With hundreds of Facebook friends and over 1,600 people following her on Twitter, is Laura concerned how what she shares might affect her career prospects?
I hope not very much. I'm just kind of me online, I think, so...
What you see is what you get?
Yeah, if they don't like me, then that's probably not the right job for me anyway.
Do you think it helps your reputation, when it comes to future prospects for your career, given what you may have put online in the past?
I haven't really thought about it that much, but I like to think that I'm fairly positive on all the social media networks that I'm on, so I wouldn't think that it would detract from me possibly getting a job in the future. At least I would hope not anyway.
But according to our survey, almost a third of those questioned said they are concerned about how much information they shared online and how this online sharing could affect their reputation. But do prospective employers look you up? This woman recruits for one of the world's largest PR and marketing firms.
I would always look on LinkedIn, that's #1 professional network, definitely Twitter as well, and maybe Facebook too.
Right, so you would look pretty much across the board at a potential employee?
Absolutely. I would say my first port of call to identify new talent is definitely LinkedIn. In fact, it has changed the way I recruit as well. Very often I will do an initial interview with someone based on their LinkedIn profile while I'm waiting for them to send me their CV. I think it's important to find out a little bit more about people's backgrounds and find out where their interests lie. But obviously this would always be in line with our normal recruitment process.
Laura is trying to break into the world of PR and marketing, and Tamara is going to look at Laura's digital footprint. We'll find out later what she makes of her online reputation.
What does this all mean? Well, if you're sharing lots of yourself with the rest of the world, it means the rest of the world can look you up on the internet at any point.
So what can you do to make sure you don't share too much and give people the right first impression? Making sure that photo of you at that party doesn't end up in the wrong hands. This social media expert thinks it's really common sense.
If you are looking for a job or using social media as a business, you obviously need to think, how is that going to look from an employer or another business point of view? Does it come across professional? It's absolutely fine having personality because that's what social media is all about. But just think, if you're not going to say it to someone's face, then don't say it. Don't say it on social media.
In other words, showing your boss what you do in private might not go down too well in the office or with future employers.
I've just been away to Cuba. Do you want to see my holiday stats?
In fact, almost half of all people we surveyed said they knew someone who had later regretted posting something online.
Pretty difficult to comprehend, isn't it, really? The things you do, say, share and write online can stay with you for the rest of your life, and they really can have an impact.
And we're not just talking about dodgy photos and saying stupid things. Fraser used to be a rally driver and then went on to work in motorsport PR. He was made redundant and spent the next 9 months trying to get a job in marketing.
I wasn't really getting anywhere. It was a case of if it was motorsport, I was fine, it was foot in the door. But anything sort of corporate based or anything outside of that, I just didn't get a look in. And I think if it sort of transpired later on that maybe people are having a look at me online to see what they could, information they could get from it, and they were finding a lot more about motorsport and they just disregarded me as.
His motorsport past was there for all to see, all over the internet, and it meant potential employers were making their mind up about Fraser's career before they even met him. So he went about changing his online reputation.
I had a rallying website which was there to attract sponsors and to promote sponsors and news stories and things. So first of all, I changed the website. I took the rallying website down, put up the sort of a holding page, and then everything that I was doing on Facebook and Twitter, and anything that was sort of updated on a regular basis, I made sure and sort of toned down the motorsport side of it and put more in relating to my expertise in marketing.
It worked, and now Fraser is marketing manager at an international training company.
General confidence building and trying
So
to
what about
secure,
Laura? Does our recruitment expert think she has overshared? What does she think of her online reputation and use of social media?
You're clearly very committed to social media, which is fantastic, and definitely the way that kind of globally we are becoming much more digitally savvy. I know that you're really keen to get into the design industry. That's a passion of yours. However, as a recruiter, I can't see that through your online reputation.
And also I'm part of the Miss Universe Norfolk competition. Would that adversely affect any of my opportunities further down the line, or?
I don't think it would adversely affect your career opportunities going forward. I think it's better to not counteract, but maybe alongside that, demonstrate your interest in the design industry, because that's ultimately what you want to get into. But I think being part of Miss Norfolk, it shouldn't impact your career prospects.
So Laura just needs to make sure she talks a bit more about the industry that interests her on her social networks.
I got really drunk last night. I feel really rough. I don't want to be here.
Whether you share your innermost thoughts, private information, or even career information, if it's online, it's there for the world to see.
Changing my digital footprint was the only way that I was able to get in front of people, actually show marketing experience and get the opportunity to get a job.
The problem is, if you're not online, you're seen as behind the times. And if you are online, you've got to be really careful just what you share.